Let's get salty!
Hey everyone, Zeddy here again, today with a brand new video, and well, the mini set's coming out in a couple of days. They're announcing like the last 4 legendaries tomorrow, which we'll review, so check out the channel for that. But I thought, let's have some fun, let's kill some time, and well, there's been a lot of power creep going on in this mini set, a lot of power creep. We've even seen Hemet get power creeped out of the game. Well, was it really ever in the game? Not really, but we have a new tech card that's better than Hemet. That's a common. I'll try and throw it on the screen here for you. But yeah, I thought we'd go over some cards that have just been power crept over and over and over again. And it makes you wonder why they like exist in the first place. But for the most part, they're like basic cards, classic cards. And well, I just thought it'd be fun to kind of take a look at the ridiculousness of some of the power creep on some of these cards. So let's start off pretty basic. River Crockless, you see it on the screen here. 2-mana, 2/3 beast. And you'd say, well, you're nitpicking about, you know, power creep on this card. The only reason I really, it makes me laugh about this card is the fact that it was added to the core set. It was added to the core set. It was literally intentionally left in. And then look at the other 2-mana, 2/3 beasts already in standard, what we have right now. We have Encumbered Mule. It's a 2-mana, 2/3 beast with taunt, and it adds another copy in your hand when it's drawn. Really good in like even lock or like any deck, a hand buff deck. This card's actually been a lot stronger than I thought it would be. It's actually one of my favorite design cards probably of Stormwind. I really don't like Stormwind that much, but Encumbered Mule never feels like a busted card. It feels like just a really cool card, and it just feels bad what's in your opener. But again, compare it to River Croc, and we can go all the way back to Galaka Crawler, where it's a 2-mana, 2/3 beast with upside. It destroys a pirate, gains +1/+1. It's just River Croc, but better outside of the I guess Boom Pistol Bully. Or Nerubian Weblord, you know, the battle cry makes it more expensive to play. So I guess in that situation, it's worse. Same goes for Mana Feeder Panthera, which is in standard right now. If you've hero powered, you draw a card, but again, it can be expensive to, you know, play the battle cry. But then you have this Oasis Thrasher. We got the core set, and literally with Forged in the Barrens, we see Oasis Thrasher with Frenzy, deal 3 damage to the enemy hero. Effectively, no downside to this at all in comparison to River Croc. It's just better unless your opponent's trying to get Molten Giants out, maybe. That situation, it's worse, but pretty funny. And you got Plated Beetle. This is an old card from Kobolds and Catacombs. Had a death rattle of gaining 3 armor. So that's just the neutral cards alone that power creep on it. And there's also, you know, Merc Spark Eel for Shaman, Phase Stalker, you know, cheating out a secret from your deck. And you also have Steel Beetle, which would gain you armor in Druid if you had a spell that costs 5 or more. But, you know, class cards are supposed to power creep on neutrals and all that. But just look at that example. But that's not the worst in my opinion. There is a couple that are even more egregious. Do you all remember the absolutely busted basic card, Silverback Patriarch? 3-mana, 1/4 beast with taunt. That's some, you know, good stuff. And my goodness, this card has been power crept beyond oblivion. Like, it's crazy. Let's take a look through what's better than a 3-mana 1/4 taunt. We can just say objectively, like just straight up better. You have a magnetic taunt, which is a 1/5, 1 more health, plus magnetic, plus it's a mech. You have Nobleman Infantry. This came out like really quickly after Goblins vs. Gnomes, the first expansion after, you know, classic and basic. You had Naxxramas in between, but still, it's a 1/4 taunt with charge. It's not a beast though, I guess. There is a bit of downside. We have a 2/4 taunt, Quillbore, Death Rattle, restore 4 health to your hero. Quite a bit better. You know, Deathlord you could say, but you know, it can summon a big guy for your opponent. We also have Lone Champion, but it requires no minions on the board, so let's not get too crazy. But again, Overconfident Orc is a 3-mana 1/6 taunt, and it also is +2 attack if at full health. This is in standard right now in Ashes of Outland, sees no play. But regardless, it's another card that just steps it up. Like a Phantom Militia, 1 more attack, plus it has Echo. You have Squirming Tentacle, 1 more attack, no Echo. It's just funny to see the power creep over time. You have Stonehill Defender as a 3-mana 1/4 that can get you another 3-mana 1/4. Ridiculous. And of course, Tar Creeper, a 1/5 +2 attack. There are so many neutral taunts alone that power crept it. And then of course you have your class cards, a ton of them that are all better, but you would really hope they'd be better than let's be real, a pretty terrible cards. So, you know, you understand some of the times where they power creep a card, especially like a basic card like Silverback Patriarch, but it's just funny to see how many times this guy, this poor, I don't know, monkey, Harambe, whatever you want to call it, got power crept and is just not that relevant a card. It used to be insane back in my day when I played in the beta, which I didn't, and even then I'm pretty sure it was terrible. But yes, a lot of better cards than that one. But there's one card right now that I think is at a ridiculous level that I actually do think is problematic, and let's get into it. It's kind of insane. And that card would be Arcane Intellect, the mage spell. Basic card, but a meta player throughout its entire run, so far in Hearthstone, still sees play today in Spell Mage, 3-mana draw 2. 3-mana draw 2. This card, this is the one where I'm like, okay, why are we power creeping on this so much? And it's led to a lot of the problems I feel in today's Hearthstone. I mean, let's take a look just at the cards that are strictly better for the most part than Arcane Intellect. Demon Hunter alone has Spectral Sight, which is 2-mana draw 2 as long as it's outcast. Not the toughest thing to do in the world. Acrobatics, draw 2 cards. If you play both this turn, draw 2 more. Strictly better, unless you're in a fatigue situation, which Demon Hunter doesn't really have to worry about. Plus, I'll try and show it on the screen over here. The new spell that if you've drawn it this turn, it's 3-mana draw 3. It's just better in most situations as well. We have Guess the Weight. As long as you guess properly, it's a better Arcane Intellect. Hell, Composting, almost always a better Arcane Intellect, but it's delayed. Harder to compare that. But straight up Fungal Fortunes, 3-mana draw 3. Used to be 3-mana draw, or 2-mana draw 3. It's 3-mana now, but yes, I guess if there's a minion in the batch, sometimes it's worse than Intellect, but often not the case. We have Master's Calls, 3-mana draw 3, although you have to run only Beast, but wasn't really much of a problem back in the day. Hell, even Cram Session basically power crept it, especially with the quest line. It's usually 2-mana draw 4 at the very worst, and plus it's not exactly hard to amplify. We have Swindle. This is basically always 2-mana draw 2, if not cheaper with all the mana discounts. And Shroud of Concealment, 3-mana draw 2 minions. They also get a benefit of stealth if you play them, which you rarely care about, and the fact that they're minions is tutorable, which makes this card a lot more effective than Arcane Intellect ever would be in this type of archetype for Rogue. We have Cutting Class, which is almost always 0-mana draw 2. We have Backfire, 3-mana draw 3, deal 3 damage to your hero. Not exactly the biggest downside to deal damage to your hero. Particularly, it's usually an upside. Free Admission, draw 2 minions. If they're both demons, reduce their cost by 2. Again, quite often better than an Arcane Intellect. And of course, Warrior as well as access to Cutting Class. So you can see Arcane Intellect, power crept to oblivion by so many cards, yet it's still a really good card, and that's why so many classes never run out of cards, have such ridiculous draw. And I'm not even mentioning stuff like Solarium and Secret Passage and cards like that, which are like, you know, temporary draw that basically are better than it most of the time. That's one of the problems I see in the game today is, you know, when you power creep stuff, it's usually fine. Like a Silverback Patriarch, that's okay. But when you're going on an Arcane Intellect style of a card, Arcane Intellect is a card that you can take a look in your collection and look at countless cards that power creep on this that are just straight up better almost always. It's kind of a problem in my opinion, and well, I'd love to hear what you guys' take on all this power creep. What are some other good examples? I could think of like Fiery War Axe, Bloodfin Raptor, cards like that, but I thought these were the kind of the standouts to me of how silly it can be and also how kind of scary it can be. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.